Rumours and teasers of WB Montreal's next addition to the Batman Arkham series have been circulating for months now, and with so much hype, it's definitely going to be difficult for the game to live up to expectations. Difficult, but not impossible. We all know that with time and preparation, Batman can surmount any challenge placed before him. What matters most is that he's able to learn from his past mistakes and improve for the future. So too is the case with the much anticipated Batman title from WB Montreal, which could yet prove to be a reboot of the entire franchise. For all the incredible aspects of these games, the series still has some serious holes in its armor, like the BATMOBILE and the ending for Arkham Knight. Wait, no, I promised myself I would stop talking about that. It's gone, it's in the past, everything's fine, it's all fine. The point is that the newest Batman game has to learn from the franchise's past mistakes. So, I'm Ewan, this is WhatCulture Gaming, and here are 10 fatal mistakes the next Batman game must avoid. Number 10. The all-in-one night trope. There's no doubt that the nights in Gotham City last longer than the days. It started to seem like the sun has just given up on visiting Gotham entirely. When Arkham Asylum released, it was supposed to be the longest night of Batman's life, and at the time, it was. It was Die Hard in Arkham Asylum, a genius premise for one game, but it's never been the case that one size fits all. Forcing Batman into a corner with limited resources and an army of Forcing Batman into a corner with limited resources and an army of baddies created a stressful atmosphere from beginning to end. Players felt like they were playing catch-up rather than being 2 steps ahead, but by the release of Arkham Knight, there was no need for it. Extending the time period, or even better, getting rid of it completely, would give players a chance to catch their breath between major elements in the story and allow more time for those moments to have a real impact. Number 9. Gotham gets evacuated again. Seriously, where are all the people of Gotham? When Batman was trapped on Arkham Island in the first game and imprisoned in Arkham City in the aptly named sequel, it fit that the only people Batman would interact with would be the criminals sentenced there. However, when Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight opened up the map to more of Gotham City itself, it felt more than a little bit empty. It's hard to get behind the idea of saving the city when the only people in it seem to be the ones Batman has to beat up, and especially when players are looking for a similar experience along the lines of Spider-Man 2, or, more recently, Spider-Man PS4. To live out the fantasy of being Batman, Gotham needs to feel lived in and not like an over-glorified set. Sure, it might be weird having the Dark Knight walk on the streets as civilians are out and about, but that's a small price to pay to make the next title live up to the promise of being the Batman. Number 8. Letting detective mode do the work for you. Batman is the world's greatest detective, so why have the Arkham games never given players the chance to explore this? The best that detective mode got was in Arkham Origins, which built up the mystery surrounding Joker's introduction surprisingly well. As much as I did like the feature though, a lot of the heavy work was done for you. Players have never had the chance to put their own detective skills to the test by collecting evidence from a series of missions and finding the clues for themselves. And given that Batman is the world's greatest detective, that kinda sucks. I know LA Noire wasn't perfect, but it did at least give players the opportunity to build their own case from the evidence on hand. Mix that in with interrogations, crime scene analysis, and interviews in the GCPD headquarters, and you'd finally make Batman feel like a detective and not just a roided up thug handing out beatdowns with his arsenal of gadgets. Number 7. The obligatory Batman goes it alone moment. For all its faults, one of the better things Arkham Knight did was give players a few missions where they got the opportunity to team up with the members of the Bat family. Sure, we had the moment where Batman's all, "I have to do this on my own, lol," but the feature resulted in some fantastic tag team battles and stealth missions that definitely changed up gameplay. Each character in the family has a unique personality, gadgets, and style that would lead to vastly different gameplay, missions, and story elements. Undergoing missions as Nightwing, Batgirl, or Robin would add a level of depth to not only the game's story, but also to its sense of scale. Even better, have members of the family team up without Batman. Give players moments in the story where Batman is out of commission, and the other members of his team need to pick up the slack. This would diversify not only the story, but gameplay as well, forcing players to adapt to a less equipped and potentially more agile character to diverse from their more familiar playstyle. Number 6. Forgetting Bruce Wayne. As capable a character as Batman is, even he can't do everything, which is why the character of Bruce Wayne is so important. Bruce's role as the head of Wayne Enterprises, as well as his connections to Gotham's elite, are essential assets to the success of Batman's missions. Unfortunately, within the Arkham series, Bruce Wayne is only present for a fleeting moment, if he even shows up at all. And the last game even took the moment to reiterate the eye-rollingly cliched "Bruce is the real mask" theme we've seen played out over and over again. This is why it's more important than ever that Bruce this included in the next game. Imagine a mission taking place at a charity event in which Bruce is a key attendee, as a front to allow access to a safe or other secure object or location. The player would have to utilize different stealth tactics and options in order to reach the objective and return to the gala while keeping his absence unnoticed. The next game has a chance to make Bruce Wayne an integral part of the story by having missions where the player has to utilize Batman's ability to be a master of disguise. Heck, why not introduce Matches Malone too? Whatever you can to make Bruce feel like a part of the story. Number 5. Inconsistent boss fights. Being as capable as he is, Batman's Rogues Gallery is full of unique and fantastical enemies. Sadly, the most recent entry in the series, Arkham Knight, did not have its boss battles reflect this. Mr. Freeze in Arkham City is one of the most edgiest boss battles put in a video game. Batman is a character that is rarely on the back foot, but this battle kept you there. Also, as a martial artist, Batman is almost unmatched, which is what made the Deathstroke fight in Arkham Origins so incredible, as well as the duel between him and Bane in the same title. So, with that in mind, it's no surprise that there was backlash in the final battle for both Deathstroke's and Mr. Freeze's missions in Arkham Knight ended with just another drone tank battle rather than the epic showdown those bad guys deserved. Boss battles should be a test of everything the player has learned. Make the striking and counter windows different for a combat-based enemy. Emphasize or limit the gadget usage during a stealth encounter. Anything to address the Arkham series' biggest Achilles heel. Number 4. Repetitive stealth. A potentially sacrilegious point I'm about to make now, but has anyone ever felt challenged playing the stealth sections of the Arkham games? Like, honestly? I mean, they're fine, they're functional, but they never really lived up to the franchise's brilliant free-flow sections and leave them feeling more like a chore than a challenging and compelling part of the series formula. Most Invisible Predator sections just evolve into Batman swinging around gargoyles and taking out the thugs in repetitive fashion. Occasionally, a jammer or some other enemy type will be thrown in to complicate matters, but Splinter Cell it ain't. And that simply won't do. If you want to be the Batman, you've got to feel like the Batman. Let players mess with the light to get the drop on enemies, and make fear a genuine mechanic rather than just a superfluous addition. Oh, and let players disarm thugs with the Batarang this time around. It's fine bonking them on the head, but come on, let us use the smaller ones and target hands next time. Number 3. Content being locked behind DLC. Pre-order bonuses and DLC have taken big hits over the last decade, and sadly, the Arkham series is one of the biggest offenders. Whether it was locking playable characters behind retailer-specific bonuses or doing the same with skins, Arkham City, Origins, and Knight all succumbed to some seriously dodgy DLCs, with Knight also coming with a daft old season pass that ended up falling afoul of controversy too. Compare that to the most recent Spider-Man game, which had over a dozen costumes unlockable at launch just for playing through the story, and it's obvious that Arkham's old DLC practices just wouldn't cut it these days. Number 2. The Batmobile. Just the Batmobile. It seems like ever since the Batman Begins movie referred to the Batmobile as a tank, the designs for this iconic vehicle have started to reflect that more and more until, in Arkham Knight, it actually was one. Fans were understandably less than thrilled with Arkham Knight's heavy emphasis on tank combat. What should have been one of the coolest parts of the game quickly became something players dreaded to see. Batmobile missions were as repetitive as they were numerous. However, rather than remove it from the series, the next title needs merely to revamp the Batmobile's gameplay. Take away the tank combat entirely and focus on what the Batmobile is, Batman's main method of transportation. Not that gliding through the skies of Gotham City isn't great, but the next title has a chance to make the Batmobile, or as rumored, the Bat Cycle, an amazing part of the game. And number 1, the Batcave. The Batcave is the ultimate base of operations. With a supercomputer, crime lab, and fully stocked workshop, no matter how much tech Batman carries with him, the Batcave always has more. Both Arkham Asylum and Origins touched on this by giving Batman a cave away from the cave in the former and access to the actual cave in the latter. It seemed like the idea would continue in Arkham Knight when its trailer showed Batman suiting up in the cave, but sadly, this wasn't meant to be. The Batcave has been underutilized in the Arkham series thus far, and that needs to change with Arkham Legacy. Giving players access to the cave would enhance half the points raised in this article even further. The Bat computer could provide mission updates, the crime lab could be used to analyze evidence, and the workshop could customize gear and maybe even the player's own Batsuit too. Who doesn't want to experience the thrill of getting a crime alert on the cave's computer and driving the Batmobile straight into Gotham? The Batcave is an essential part of any Batman story, and the fact it's been left out for so long is a mistake that needs immediately correcting. Plus, I kinda want to reenact the opening of Batman the Animated Series, and I can't do that without the cave, so your move, WB. And yeah, that was our list on the 10 things the next Batman game must avoid in order to be a huge success. Let me know your suggestions for the next game down in the comments below and what kind of things you'd like to see in the title too. Once you've done that, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content. That's all for now though, have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye!